I was hoping we could race it, but these guys are pussies.
Wow!
Don't you wish the Napalm Nova ran? Preached by the people. Is it Brian's?
Yeah, it's Brian's.
Does it run?
No, it doesn't.
But Dan is here. What's Dan about to do?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why this is overheating. I kind of have an idea. Pretty damn good idea, actually.
What is that?
This is the highest point here. This is your fill spot. Anytime you fill it, air's gonna cavitate up here. I know that was supposed to be for a bleeder, but I don't think it's working appropriately. So we're gonna either try and get a different radiator to replace this, extend this, or maybe get a different swirl pot.
I always said that this was the problem.
It is the problem.
Yeah, because I was like, it's clearly above everything. This is a massive radiator.
It's a massive radiator.
It should do the job.
It should do the job,
Yeah.
yeah.
But let's change it anyway. It looks
you
old and
need to
junky.
Come up a bit, or we'll see how much clearance you have with the hood.
So basically, Brian Scotto is the busiest man on earth, as far as we know, and he doesn't have time to do this. So we're gonna give him a Merry Christmas special.
Little Christmas present.
Santa Dan is here to dial in the Napalm Nova. Well, you guys wait for the build breakdown, because it will come one of these days. Go to wheelwell.com and check it out, because all the specs are on there for what he has, except for the new radiator, obviously. You can get a close look. It's got pictures, specs, all that jazz. Just go wheelwell.com. Check it out.
Dan, what are you doing, dude?
Investigating.
Investigating? I haven't seen this thing run in a really long time. This was a Brian Scotto project with ACP. They did a car savior show.
I was hoping we could race it, but these guys are pussies.
Wow! Everyone, Jonathan Ward.
Howdy.
You're not here to talk about this.
No, but I wanted to see it. It's super cool.
Well, let's go talk about your.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
I feel super underdressed. I'm wearing my usual.
Much, so
This dude shows up.
To have an excuse to,
I mean, look.
Put on some thread.
To the nines, even got like the shoe game,
Yeah, baby.
hat, the jacket. Look at this, layered. You dress like an adult. That's super adult dressing. So wait a minute.
It's a super adult car.
Yeah, this is an adult car.
Yeah, it's just my wardrobe when I'm driving this. It's a 1958 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. My client wanted something, he lives in Australia, and the idea was something he could drive up to, like, whatever, the hotty-toddy, uptight Rolls-Royce Club of Brisbane or whatever, and like do a drift into the parking lot. We hunted for one that was like fairly beat up but had like really good integrity. So like the body structure is sound, you know, it's got some love wear and points of previous encounters.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's like part with the derelicts, like you either get it or you don't.
Look at all the characters.
Yeah, why don't you explain to people who don't know what a derelict is, because that's
so-
what makes these so special.
Right, so the whole idea of a derelict is it still looks like crap when we're done. So we try and leave like the whole vibe of like barn find, derelict, whatever, but then everything that we build at Icon, the idea is like revisiting classic transportation design, but in a modern context, meaning I have no patience for carburetors, drum brakes, 3 on the tree, or anything archaic when it comes to mechanical. And I've always been corrupted by like, I love my vintage cars, but then you drive a new car and you're like, oh shit, you know, that's enticing. So like, since the beginning, I just want to mash those two things together. So like, we'll laser scan the body underside so that we get the data to put it in CAD, because obviously there never was any CAD on something this old.
Wait, something from the 50s doesn't have CAD?
Right? And then that allows us to take control over the chassis. So we work with Art Morrison, who's to me the best company in the business for custom chassis. And we'll do 4-wheel independent or independent 4-bar, whatever, depends on the client. So this one has an independent front and triangulated 4-link in the rear. Brembo's my brake partner, so it has like ridiculous 6-piston monster front cowlies and 4-piston rear, 2-piece T41, 47 monster rotors, then it's slotted, hydro boosted. Then we chose dry sump LS7 from GM Performance, 4L 85E automatic with overdrive, and then a billion other details, like we got rid of the Prince of Darkness, Mr. Lucas, and rewired it like with all modern negative ground 12-volt stuff. Then like high-end audio, front and rear cameras, extensive soundproofing, one-off custom leather, you know, AC and nav and CarPlay, all those like perversions of modern.
So it's basically a brand new car wearing an old body.
Yes, that would have been a much more succinct way of voicing it.
Dan,
I'm just waiting. Wow. Actually, not as much room as I thought there'd be.
these
Right?
cars are deceptive. Anything from the 50s, people think there's a lot of room in the engine bay. There isn't really.
Well, it depends. Like, the fender eats up so much space.
Yeah.
Most American cars of this era with a full width hood, like starting in 50 or 49
Yeah.
for most cars, a lot more room to play with in those. And this had a straight 6.
Oh, the
That's
valve
cool.
covers, yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
fresh.
that's fun. So
That's
we,
really cool,
it
yeah.
just looked. We've done all sorts of dress up stuff on this one. We decided to keep it pretty simple. So we did these 2-piece valve covers that are CNC'd, and they hide the stock GM coil packs because I didn't want to get into those being remote. And then we just machined the rolls piece to hide it.
Well, all that stuff you do in-house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of it. And then full TIG stainless mandrel bent exhaust. And like, again, that's like part of the discussion with the client. Like,
Yeah.
do you want it to be under the radar? Do you want to scare small children? This guy chose the latter of those two options. So it's pretty gnarly, pretty throaty. And it's just a midship dual dump. So it's not even a full length, so we kept it pretty
No muffler
obnoxious.
or anything?
Yeah, it's got muffs,
Muff.
so it's not like ridiculous.
Just a
but-
little silent?
Yeah, but it's got a
if
nice
you keep
sign,
your
a
foot
tone.
out
To
of
keep
it,
the
it's
drone
a little
out.
Yeah.
rumble, but
Yeah.
when you nail it, it's like, holy hell.
How did you even get started building, like, your business is built on building like unique one-off vehicles. Like, that's not really the most sound business
Oh no, not
decision.
at all. No, and there was no intelligent forethought or SWOT analysis or any of those fancy MBA words. Quite frankly, because I have absolutely no business doing this. I mean, I'm a designer, but self-appointed. I have no degrees in engineering or design or anything for that matter. Just vintage vehicles was always my passion and my hobby. Literally with like a wing and a prayer, a couple trucks and a credit card, we started the company and we've just been running ever since and just stoked that enough people appreciated what we're doing to build it. So yeah, the lizard.
That's
he's
part of the
on-
thing.
Yeah, it's my sort
It's
of
a
my
thing.
mascot or whatever. It's my thing. So he's on everything and anything we build. On the one-offs, like the derelicts, and then the other class of one-offs is called reformers, which is a lot of people go, why would I spend all this money to have something look like crap? So for them, we do the reformers, which would be same engineering, but like concourse perfect. So on those, we move the lizard around, depends on where it's
Yeah.
going to get the most sun usually.
These are all hand.
Yeah,
They're
it's
hand
all lost
created,
wax,
right?
brass
Well,
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the other badging we do on them. So we try and keep them pretty
Kind of fancy
yeah, but
stuff.
like mellow. But this is fun. Like this typeface is from the federal legal shared fonts from Route 66, which I always dug and kind of had that American thing. And then this, just coincidentally, I stole from the body plates on vintage Rolls Royces, like 20 cars before we did a Rolls. And then that's spun pewter. But we didn't like, I don't like to overly brand things. So like,
Yeah, but I think if you're in the
you
know,
knew, you'd know.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that's totally cool.
yeah.
The leather in this thing.
Yeah, and that's like my hobby. Like
It smells like leather in there.
Yeah, it's proper.
It
So
smells like
automotive leather suppliers, for the most part, they're sluts and whores because it's all about price point. And then
Just get right to it. Just don't be
I don't
afraid.
like to beat around. Yeah, and my like weekend hobby, like totally analog, is leather craft, like making belts and
Oh, okay.
bags for my wife and stuff. So between that and the brand's work, we've got all these killer connections in the leather world. So we actually had this leather dyed and made for the car because we wanted it to have a lot of pull up, which is like the way it crinkles and reacts to touch.
That's super nerdy talk about
Okay,
leather.
yeah.
Leather talk.
You had me.
Sir Zach here.
That's one way to get your attention.
Wow.
You're pretty pimped. You stepped it up.
Get a smell in there. Smell it.
Sniff it.
Smells nice.
Sniff it. So this is only, whatever, 3 months old.
Yeah.
But the point of the leather is for it to get a little funk and chunk over
Oh,
time.
this is only 3 months.
Yeah, this is a fresh build. Which this car got top 5 at SEMA.
Yeah.
And then you drove it.
Things.
You drove in the Optima Challenge.
Well, I'm a wuss. I didn't drive it. I made my client drive it. So
Oh, okay.
if screws anything up, that's on him.
So this car competed in the last round in Vegas for the Optima Street Challenge. That's a pretty amazing feat for this car, how big it is. It's not a muscle car. It's not a late Mustang. It's not a Camaro.
That was totally the fun.
Yeah.
Because you see this thing ripping around the turn with like total pro touring
Yeah.
69 Camaros, but like in the game, in the mix. And we actually lost like 600 pounds.
Dan's laying down. Zach's face just fell open. I can't handle all of everyone.
Serious work under here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
On the chassis.
We can't get it.
I saw this sitting outside, and I saw his get up, and so I was like, all right, cool. There's
So I
like
gotta
an
just bring it.
old Rolls Royce here. I had I didn't.
Yeah, that's
didn't
what-
get any backstory on any of this.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
yeah.
Spec 1 powder chassis, all stainless hardware.
Hang on.
If you can pop that under here and see anything, wow.
Every
Some
bush is
serious work.
new.
You can eat off the bottom of your car.
Yeah.
Sure.
We don't even want to be near the bottom of our cars. Our cars are just
I'm
gross.
so glad I tucked my shirt into this.
Yeah, right?
Like we finished out the trunk. We couldn't fit the spares, so we just said, good luck, buddy. Here's a fix a flat. But then he wanted a gun safe.
You got backup cam too?
Yeah, front cam too.
So these wheels,
Yeah, so the wheels are CNC from scratch. I try to keep the vintage vibe, and then I wanted to fit the original hubcaps, which we often do, but they wouldn't fit, so we machined these. And then we added we two-tone powder coated them, which is
oh yeah,
And then it bugged me, so I went back and we hand painted the
pinstripe
stripe.
it. Yeah, I didn't even notice the two-tone until I stepped back. And then you mentioned it, I could actually tell.
Well, I always want my wheels to disappear, but it's hard to make a ZR-rated rim tire package disappear under a vintage car. So that's like a constant challenge. But we just figured if we reference the stock body colors,
Yeah,
and then just hopefully they disappear over time.
designerly.
Stereo stuff.
Yeah, and then like the dash, it looks stock, and we
Yeah.
restored it, but we modified it a lot. So again, no Lucas, just the face of the vintage gauges, but all modern electronics behind it. And then all new wiring and everything, and then in-dash AC and cruise control and
Wiring
other
tucked
things
really
that didn't
nicely.
exist.
It's all.
We created the layouts and cutouts, so unless you're a Rolls geek, you wouldn't know. That's
How many of these have you built?
Oh,
We've built, I think, 12 or 13, and then we have 15 in queue to be built, and we build them 4 at a time.
because the first one was your wagon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
His
again,
wagon
not
is
that
bananas.
smart. I
Can we
just
cut to
built the
that?
wagon.
Just cut some footage, a photo, anything of his wagon.
Have you gone over numbers for this thing?
But it has like 550
Yeah,
horsepower.
around 550.
Yeah, not bad. How much does it weigh? Like 9,000 pounds?
No, you know what? It's 600 pounds lighter than it was stock. So it's
is,
40-40 now,
40.
and it's 4-corner equal. So we were able to get that motor slammed so low and so far back. Like the handling has nothing to do
Do you know what
with how
the weight of the original motor would be in comparison to
I'm gonna guess it was damn close to 600 pounds that we lost.
This would be
yeah.
a lot of weight difference, yeah.
Yeah, that was a cast iron straight set. Sure.
It's like an old airplane.
Houston, we've had a problem.
This is a track by many
we
people's
got a thing
standards
called
now.
By
man
whose
line.
standards?
By many
what?
people's
We got a thing
standards.
called man line.
That's really gonna happen.
I'm not saying your car is built for that, and it probably doesn't have the spatial. It's just spatially offsets
Man,
too much
man that can build
area.
a vehicle like this,
Yeah.
like the word impossible can't mean anything to you.
Ooh.
Well, you know what? If we brought my wagon,
Oh.
you know, I could be a little more.
I wish I could stick my fat head under there because
What,
all
ain't
this
the fender?
tubular work is so cool. And
He's just gonna throw. He's just gonna throw.
We can help you.
He's just gonna throw you in.
Does that work?
that's actually how I work kind of often. Even by myself, just hanging.
I wish I had that skill.
Perfect.
So aircraft wiring, like that's the style, right?
Yeah, all in fittings everywhere. Yeah, and then we totally geek out. We have in-house electrical engineers, geek like me, so we use all these cool multi-pin out of aerospace.
Shoo.
Then all cross-link wire all modern mini fuses, Bosch relays. Something like this is totally not needed by anyone and totally unnecessary, right? So if you're gonna build anything custom, from my perspective, that's what like makes it worth doing, is like just nerding out on every little thing. Like, look at the welds on that radiator. That just like that kind of stuff just tickles me pink.
This wasn't meant to be a SEMA car, was it?
No.
Yeah, you just happen to take it
Yeah,
to SEMA.
we never build like SEMA bling cars. Just if the timing is right, we can show something off at SEMA, then we'll bring whatever client car we happen to have. So this year we brought 4 cars to SEMA, and they were all recent client cars, so we're still. So yeah, if you keep it mellow, it's not too loud.
Yeah. It's definitely not your grandpa's Rolls, that's for sure. Someone just creeping right now.
I wish we had an open lid so we can like, look under this.
Right? We can do some B-roll though, because I have pretty pictures of the chassis I took in my parking lot.
Oh, do you?
So roll B-roll.
But Jonathan, thank you very much for bringing
Thank you.
camera. High fives.
Appreciate it.
That's it. That's it.
The classy man will say.
Oh, the classy man would say?
That's a wrap.
What are you driving?
Yeah.
What are you doing, dude?
What?